Today I'm going to show you how to make a delicious corn pudding casserole, which is perfect for any holiday entertaining you might be doing this year. It is light, it is airy, it feels almost like you're eating a corn souffle. So if you are a beginner cook and Thanksgiving is starting to make you panic, don't, because this is the ticket. It is super easy and super delicious. So you'll notice this recipe calls for two 12-ounce bags of frozen corn. I like to use the frozen corn because I think you get a lot more flavor that way than the canned corn. Okay, so I'm gonna add just one of the bags in the blender, and then we're gonna save the other bag to stir in once our puree is done. If you pureed everything, I think you'd sort of miss the texture of the little kerneled corn. So that's just the way I do it. And then to that, we're also gonna add 4 eggs. So this is what makes this dish so delicious and light and airy, are the eggs. So if you don't wanna make a stuffing or you don't wanna take the time to make mashed potatoes, this would be a good swap. And then we're also going to add 3/4 cup of whole milk and then a cup of heavy cream. So the heavy cream gives it a wonderful structure and makes it really rich and delicious. And speaking of rich and delicious, we're also gonna add a half a stick of melted butter. I know, it is the holidays, it is the time of year, so we are just going to add it and we will work it off in January. And one thing that I do is I hold on to my pan that I melted my butter in. You can see there's a lot of melted butter still sort of collecting in the bottom. I use this to grease my casserole pan with. It is such a dark and gloomy day here. It may not look that way the way it's lit, but it is pouring outside. I guess it's good for my pumpkins that are out there. I just bought the pumpkins for Thanksgiving, and in fact, if you want to see my Thanksgiving prep vlog, I'm going to be launching that tomorrow. So you can see everything that I'm going to be doing to get ready for Thanksgiving. Starting with the centerpieces, which is what those pumpkins are for. And then you're also going to add 1/3 cup of sugar, just to give it a little bit of sweetness. Not too much, but it's almost like the way that cornbread is sweet. That's what this will taste like. And then just to heighten all the flavors, I'm also going to add 1.5 teaspoons of kosher salt. And then all you do is whirl it up. You just want to make sure that you don't have any kernels and that it's nice and smooth and pureed. So it takes about a minute or so. Then in this bowl, I have 1/3 cup of all-purpose flour. To that, you want to add 1 teaspoon of baking powder, just to give your casserole a little bit of a nice lift, and just whisk that up until it's combined. And then we are going to add it to our mixture. Now we are going to pour our beautiful corn puree into a large bowl. And this is how I would do it the day before Thanksgiving. I would just make the batter, cover and refrigerate, and then when you're heating up your side dishes at 350, pop this in with them while your turkey is resting. A turkey is such a huge piece of meat that if you cover it with foil, the meat will still stay warm. And then we are going to whisk in our flour mixture. Then we're also going to add 2 tablespoons of freshly snipped chives. In they go. The combination of the sort of egg souffle and the corn with chives is so good. And then a little bit of freshly cracked pepper. And then we're going to add the second bag of frozen corn into the base. And that will just give our corn casserole a little bit of texture, which I think is nice. Also, as far as side dishes go, we're using basic ingredients and frozen vegetables, so it's pretty economical too, which is nice. And then I'm working with a 9x12 casserole dish here, which I think is pretty good because you want it to be pretty thick more than thin. Also, I think the smaller size just makes it easier to fit the other side dishes in the oven at the same time. Very important at Thanksgiving, right? Okay, then we are just going to pour this beautiful batter into this casserole dish. Now here's the reason why I don't actually refrigerate this and then pop it in the oven. I like to keep it in the bowl, is because I tried that once, and what happened is all the corn sunk to the bottom overnight. And then I had this beautiful souffle type texture and then a bunch of corn at the bottom. So there's a tip for you. And then we are going to put this in the oven at 350 degrees Fahrenheit for about 40 to 45 minutes, just until it's nice and golden brown and baked all the way through. And when it's done, it will be beautifully golden brown, slightly puffed up, light and airy, and so delicious. It's like eating a bite of a cloud. And I'll see you back here tomorrow for my video on how I prepare for Thanksgiving, part 1. You won't want to miss that. You may get some tips for your own Thanksgiving prep. All right, you guys, I'll see you back here next time. Until then, bye.